AskReddit. What's an invention that's still around today but has lost sight of its original purpose? Paintball guns. They were originally called paintball markers and were invented as a way for loggers and park rangers to mark trees for trimming, cutting down, etc., without having to walk up to each tree with spray paint or something. A couple of dudes who were using them started shooting at each other for fun, and paintball as a sport was born. In fact, some people still call them markers to avoid the stigma some associate with the word gun. TBF. Every time I've gone paintball by, I've heard them called markers still. But I didn't know the history. The best man at a wedding was the best swordsman the groom could afford. If anyone objected to the wedding, the best man would duel him. The honeymoon lasted a whole month after the wedding, where the bride's father would supply the groom with all the mead he could drink. He also defended the bride after the wedding. The wedding didn't really count until the marriage was consummated, so he defended her in the event someone tried to steal her away. Edit. Believe it or not, I learned this from Linus Tech Tips. The WAN show. Luke explained he was asked to do this. Also, because someone pointed out context matters, he defended her from someone who wanted to steal her from the groom and consummate the marriage before the groom had a chance to. Amazon used to sell only books. Play-Doh was supposed to be a wallpaper cleaner originally. Now it serves as a delicious appetizer. Use your Play-Doh on your bubble wrap. Electric pen by Edison are now tattoo machines. It's sure if this is correct, but the tattoo artist who did one of my tattoos told me the gun machine has not changed since invented. It's exactly the same since Edison invented it. Edit. So it's not a gun. It's a tattoo machine. My apologies to the artists out there. No foul intended. Nalgene bottles. The plastic water bottles that are popular with hikers, campers, other outdoor activity folks were originally created for use as medical, scientific lab equipment, as a lighter, shatterproof alternative to glass. They are still really good for that. In fact, my company gets many free samples of Nalgene beakers and bottles from salespeople every year, which I take home and use as dining ware and sports bottles. I worked in a factory that printed those bottles. Clean them. Clean them really well before you use them. I know how dirty the people were who stuck their fingers into each one before they hit shelves. History Channel. Discovery Channel. National Geographic Channel. National Geographic still has interesting stuff, just not nature stuff. History Channel is conspiracy theories, and Discovery Channel alternated from how it's made to car, gold or lobster shows. Kleenex. Its original purpose was to act as insulation in gas masks during World War I. After the war, its parent company advertised it as a way to remove makeup. Edit. Added context for when this happened. Edit. Fixed my grammar. You savages. The dashboard. Originally it was a literal board of wood used to protect people from mud and debris from when their horse-drawn whatever would travel at gallop speeds. Now it gives me information about my vehicle's current state and provides audio entertainment. There are several drugs that would make the list. Cocaine and Viagra for sure though. Heroin was originally advertised as an addiction-free alternative to opium. Bubble wrap. It was made to be a textured wallpaper. That might be the stupidest invention ever. So after it's been up 6 months and you've bumped against it enough to pop most of them, or the kids got a hold of them, it now just looks like garbage. Menstrual pads. They were invented to soak up blood in bullet wounds. After the war, Kotex had several hundred tons left over and found that nurses had been using them as feminine hygiene. What did women use before pads were invented? Serious. Microwave transmitters were originally created to transmit radar signals in World War II. When a worker noticed that being near the transmitter melted a candy bar in his pocket, it led to the development of the microwaves that we use in our homes today. MTV, aka Music Television, and TLC, or the Learning Channel. Not a lot of learning happening on that channel these days. Unless you enjoy learning about the daily lives of morbidly obese people, and idiots marrying morons from different countries in a matter of weeks. Hitachi Magic Wand. It was originally intended as a massager. These aren't just for people. I worked in a lab that used them for getting tomato plants to pollinate in a greenhouse. Touch the magic wand to the bottom of the flowers and, poof, Pollen everywhere. Viagra. It was invented as a blood pressure medicine. It's still used to treat a form of high blood pressure called pulmonary hypertension in both men and women. It's sold under another name, Revatio, for marketing purposes. Both Viagra and Revatio are the same drug, sildenafil. My dog has pulmonary hypertension and takes sildenafil 3 times a day. Benadryl was developed as a sleep aid, but its antihistamine properties were better. Also, and maybe this has been said, but the pound sign started as shorthand for pound weight, then commonly used in the 80s for voicemail access. Now it's used to light fires on social media. High-heeled shoes. They were originally for men and used for horse riding, as the heels were supposed to keep the feet more secure in the stirrups. Now, they are just fancy women's shoes, also used by butchers so they didn't stand in blood. People look at me like I'm crazy when I say it's easier to bike in heels than dressy flats. But it really is. The microplane was initially developed as a wood rasp, but now it's used pretty much exclusively for zesting lemons and grating Parmesan cheese. Not really an invention but IQ test. They were never meant to figure out how smart you were. They were for identifying students who may need additional help. Cotton buds. Not meant for ears but for cleaning bacteria and removing dust. Amyl nitrite. Poppers. Originally a cleaning chemical. Now a less than healthy way of making butt sex easier. For every pipe cleaner that actually cleans a pipe, 500,000 get twisted into children's art projects. A friend's cat loved playing with pipe cleaners, so she gave me a bunch for my cats. The cats ended up not playing with them, but they wreaked havoc with my Roomba. Hopefully I found them all before Mr. R does. Duct tape. Meant to cover holes in ammo boxes, so the ammo doesn't get wet. And now I use it to put my 1998 Camry back together so it runs for another 10 years. Same here. Although when someone decided to turn across 3 lanes of traffic and stop in front of me, no amount of duct tape would fix that. The drug Accutane was originally developed to fight fast developing cancers. It's now prescribed for acne. Graham crackers. Originally created by Sylvester Graham, who wanted to create a diet that was devoid of pleasurable foods. It is now used to create delicious snacks and is almost used exclusively for its pleasurable flavor. Phones. They are hardly used for making phone calls anymore. You beat me to it. I hardly ever make a phone call. I might as well call it my Reddit device. Cereal. It was supposed to stop you from wanking if I'm not wrong. Edit. Cornflakes. Cornflakes has a massive cock on the box. Your car's indicator or blinker. It is supposed to let other drivers know your need to turn or change lanes. It is not intended to tell drivers to cut you off or close the gap. Facebook was designed as a platform where college students could connect and stay in touch. Nowadays virtually no college students use Facebook and it's just a site full of fake news, divisive political opinions, and grandparents sharing content that was posted on Reddit 4 weeks ago. Flat-headed screwdrivers. Want a chisel? Grab the flathead. Want a pry bar? Grab the flathead. Want to scrap some crap off something? Grab the flathead. Want to open some paint? Grab the flathead. Want to scribe something? Grab the flathead. I've got a full set of the buggers, can't remember the last time I say a flathead screw. Daily newspapers. Before TV and even before that radio became so widespread, they used to be the fastest way of getting news and information to people. Nowadays, their emphasis is significantly more on serving as advertising tools, gossip columns, social commentary, etc., than reporting factual news without the extra serving of bullcrap on top. The poop knife, now people just use it to smear peanut butter and fix things. QWERTY keyboards. Originally meant to reduce chances of type heads getting stuck to each other on typewriters. Now persistent touchscreen keyboards. Wow, you are so wonderful for listening. Hit like button and subscribe for more daily stories.